Greetings humanity, and welcome to Channel Otherdoc. I'm Jim, I use he, him pronouns, and this is the Inner Circle, one of the story arcs in our Waking Nightmares campaign of Don't Rest Your Head, a game by Fred Hicks of Evil Hat Productions. This is a supernatural horror game in which the Insomniac characters have been awake for so long, they have developed strange abilities and can freely interact with a realm of living nightmares. I got off, unfortunately, to a little bit of a late start. We were trying to wrestle some techno demons. We're still kind of in the process of that, so do bear with us. I have, as always, audio weirdness may happen, so please be on the lookout for that. Let me know if anything's too loud, too soft, or what have you. We may have things happen. We don't know. But we're going to go around and say hi to everyone, and let them say who they are and who they are playing. As you may note, we have more people today. We have a mysterious additional guest who we will be bringing on, whom some folks might recognize, at least by their voice at present. But we shall see how things go. We're going to be starting once again with Alyssa. Hello.
My name is Alyssa. I am your friendly virtual spinner of yarns and teller of tall tales, better known on the internet as Shawl Tales, and I play Lila Mendelsohn, the stressed out songstress who is not having a very good time.
Everything is so happy. Everything's such a delight right now. But we'll get into that more shortly. And in the meantime, let us head back over to Olivia. Hello.
Hello, I am Olivia. I can be found on various internet places as Cry Out Olivia. And I am playing Dawson this evening, the mathematics student who has mysteriously disappeared from the rest of the group right before exciting things popped off. And yeah, I'm excited to see what was going on.
Just a few things happened. No, nothing.
Yeah.
Nothing at all.
Oh, nothing big.
And now let us head over to Nash. Hello.
Hi, I'm Nash. I'm starting to feel more like a human and less sick. You can find me at Theater Nerd 221 in all the places. It's just obscure enough that nobody tries to steal it. Yeah, I'm happy to be back. Hopefully for the whole session, because hopefully
I don't know either, really, to be perfectly honest.
I don't know.
But we'll see how it goes.
Really, it's more like a pause for me, and Lana chooses to throw herself back into the.
Yeah.
I guess we'll get to our
yeah.
My geese before they
no. I mean, we've got this session. There's probably going to be a session after this one, I'm guessing, just based on what I've been seeing. But we'll see how things go. But now let us head over to Hannah. Hello.
Hi, I'm Hannah. And in this game, I'm playing Luca Bastieri, who is an artist who has been living in the Mad City for the last year and just woke up to that fact. So, you can find me on Twitter at Hanimation Art and everywhere else at Hanimation Studios. And I'm looking forward to the session. Can't wait.
Yes.
Luca had a little meltdown last time, so.
Yes, it was so good. But now let us head over to our new guest, Rrok. Hello.
Hey Jim, and good evening everybody. I'm Rock and Roll. That's how you can find me anywhere on the internet, is as Rock and Roll. And tonight I am going to be playing Dustin Lint, who has previously been to the Mad City and apparently is about to make a return.
Yes. For those of you who've been watching this channel for a little while, you may note that this is another returning character. And so things may happen. We will see what things happen, but there will be things, and they will be happening. So before I get into a recap of things, As a reminder, like we do with the other games on this channel, we're going to be using the X card, the N card, and the O card. If we hit something that's crossing a line for one of us, any of us can type an X in the Zoom video chat or anywhere else. Hold up a card, make an X symbol, and we'll back up and do something else. If something happens that we're okay having in the game, but we don't want a graphic description of it, we can type an N in the Zoom chat and we'll fade to black on it or put it behind a veil. So it'll be there, but we won't go into detail. Finally, if we're exploring a topic or an area of roleplay that's particularly intense for us, but we want to keep going anyway, we can put an O in the chat to let us know that we're okay and that we're all good to keep piling on the drama. Something else that we can do is put an O with a question mark after it when we're moving into a difficult topic, or if we say or we do something, then think, maybe that might have been a little too much. Then everyone else can respond to that again with an X, an N, or an O to let us know if we're still doing okay. We're also using the pause. If any of us needs to take some time, we can ask for a pause in the game while we discuss things, or just take a break for as long as anyone needs. As a reminder, just a few content warnings. This game has the potential for discussions of physical and mental debilitation, insomnia, death, law enforcement, nightmares, body horror, being stalked and chased by supernatural beings, and other horrific themes. The game has mechanics related to states arising from sleep deprivation, referred to in-game as exhaustion, madness, scars, and fight-or-flight responses, but places the expression of those states squarely in the hands of the players. You can see all of that by typing !DRYH, that's Don't Rest Your Head, CW for content warning, there in the chat, and that will pop up. That's also going to come up regularly on rotation. Also, please remember we have an open door policy, which means that any of us and any of you can feel free to step away from any of this if at any time if we need to. It's just a game, and mental health is always more important. But let us see. There, what was happening last time? Several things were happening last time, so I feel as though it might be a good idea to talk about them. There was they reached the 13th hour, and as they had run to the grid to try to find a way out, following a clue that had been left on basically on Lila's cell phone, pointing to a place called Mad City Exteriors. Mad City Exteriors turned out to be what was in there, at least basically a front for them to capture Lila. As it turns out, the grid has made a deal with the folks who run District 13 in the Mad City, and there's a Clockwork police officer who was very, very upset with one of the things Lila did in the past. It's just a little upset. So they also discovered at that time Dawson was with them, and until she wasn't. She basically, it turns out, according to what the grid said, she turned away before entering, and as a result, they put a hologram of her in so that they wouldn't be suspicious and continue on. We don't know what's happened to Dawson yet, and I'm excited to find out what that is. But we will see. But let's see, what else was happening? Things. They ran out. They ran out of the place. They faced Officer Tak. That confrontation started with a bit of legal evasion provided by Lana, and ended with Officer Tak being rolled over by a large paint monster that they had seen before, that Luca has, as it turns out, control over. The paint creature did its thing. It sort of, basically, what does it do? It corrodes? Is that what it does? Remind me. It rots.
It rots whatever it touches. Mm-hmm.
Trying to figure, what happens to metal? Yeah,
it would
that makes
corrode
sense.
and fall apart.
Better
I mean,
Officer Tak than
anyone whose name starts with an
Lila
L would
or
probably
Luca.
be bad. But that said, So they ran. They found that since the 13th hour had struck, the city was changing. Buildings were moving around. Features were adjusting. All the doors were gone, so you couldn't hop quickly from place to place any longer. Not that anyone's been doing that. But there's sometimes it happens. All the special doors, the doors that aren't supposed to be there. They found their way. They found their way into what was, until very recently, the financial district. The financial district is going through some major changes as these entire districts are moving. Some of them are sort of floating around. The market district's flapping off somewhere. We're not sure what's happening over there. Maybe we'll find out on Friday. But the thing now is that the city is shifting and the districts are moving around, and so basically it means that one of the major players did something. They ran into the Stranger. The Stranger is a nightmare with many faces. They're all the same face, but there are many faces. Many identities. There's generally one in every district. The Stranger advised them to go down, to try to seek refuge with the Wax King in the sewers. This turned out to be a fairly popular idea. A lot of people are trying to do that right now because this is one of the major shifts. The Clockwork Police are out. Nightmares are hunting people. Nightmares are hunting people who are awake because they cannot get out right now. In the 13th hour, you cannot return to the city slumbering. The doors, as I said, are all gone. But they found their way to the Wax Kingdom. They found another iteration of the Stranger there who helped them get through the doors. As they were going through the doors into this sort of setup, it's kind of the Wax King's castle. It's still in the sewers, but there is just more older brick structures, stone structures that have been built down there that look slightly castle-like. As they were heading through this front door, they were hearing a rumbling, and then they were hearing fighting, and something rolled in. A couple of somethings rolled in that looked very similar to a being that Delilah saw at the very beginning of this story, just before shortly entering a subway tunnel that dragged her and her compatriots into the Mad City. It's a being that looks like it's kind of almost, I almost want to say, kind of a pseudo-steampunkish cyborg, kind of on wheels, with a blade for a hand. I said blades for hands at the time. Yeah. But this basically partially human, mostly metal, to be metal plates being welded on. It was just basically slaughtering people as it came in. It seemed to, I don't know if recognized is the right term, but it seemed happy to see Lila for whatever reason. Just pointing and grinning menacingly as they ran into the keep, the outer keep. They entered this sort of larger courtyard area, big chamber. People were running. Wax Knights, members of the Wax King's court, were running and panicking. Not something you see that often. As they saw additional passageways, and one of them had one of its walls burst through, full of water, and that tunnel started flooding. They dashed inside the inner keep, and the door slammed shut behind them. Big stone wall came down behind them. And that is where we left Lila and Lana and Luca. as they are racing. They were racing to get away from this thing. And they're going to find themselves in the Wax King's castle. It still looks like a subway, a sewer tunnel. But I would like to know what the three of you are doing. You can also hear metal plates rolling into place as this wall is being reinforced by those as well. You can hear what sounds like sound of flooding in the room behind you. There's a tunnel going forward. It's going to open into another chamber. Where you're going to have the inner keep where you see, again, people sort of being rushed in. Sort of chaos, a little bit of chaos in there as well. Wax knights running back and forth. And you'll see... Mm-hmm.
Is anyone currently in
At
danger,
this
or
point,
are we just running?
If this wall holds, you're not in immediate danger, necessarily. There are nightmares in the chamber ahead of you. There's this big kind of balcony that you can see.
Don't let go, Rose. Oh.
At,
I don't know
at
why
the
my
other
head
end of
went
that
to
chamber.
but it did.
And people basically running around chaotically right now. Someone important is probably standing on the balcony, but you haven't gone in there yet, so you can't quite see them.
Nope, I'm not, and I'm not going to be the first one. Lila, have you made enemies of everyone? Because that's the impression I'm getting.
I've never seen those guys before tonight.
Is this more? Does this have more to do with the fact that we're awake?
Possibly. I have no idea who has made connections with whom since the last 2 times I was here, so...
But they seem to recognize you. Specifically you.
And the last time that was a trap. Just saying. Well, we can go out
The
on
balcony's
the
across
balcony,
the chamber. You'd have to actually climb up to get there.
or we.
Yes. So let me once
Okay,
again.
Balcony's
You've got a
up.
chamber that you can enter into if you wish. There's a little tunnel, the chamber. Now, across the chamber from where you're at let's say you're at the. Everyone's underground here, but you're at the ground level. As
Is
you
it
walk,
kind of-
if you walk in, you can see from here there's a balcony up above where you would be walking in from on the far side. See what
Okay.
I'm saying? Yes, it's like you're walking into
like
a
in the courtyard.
yeah.
Or like a
Yeah, it's actually-
that would have
yeah.
like a balcony or
Yeah,
a
slightly more like a
grand
ballroom
staircasey
actually.
type thing with no
Um,
stairs.
It's kind of the deal. But it's a sewer. Yeah.
And we're underground, so you know how grandiose can it be. We need to do something. We can't stay here.
I mean, we go forward, we get to higher ground.
Isn't that kind of an oxymoron? Underground.
Well, higher ground, underground. It's. You know, I don't speak English very good. I'm trying.
Actually, you do a better job than I do, and I'm a lawyer. I just have to be smarter than the other guy.
We will want to make our way up and out again, possibly, eventually. There are no doors out of the city until 1 o'clock.
We still have to keep moving forward. We don't have any choice. the thing behind us is the robots with the knives.
Okay, you know what? I'm with Luca. And Lana walks towards the door. I know they said Lana wasn't going in there first, but I changed my mind. I'm hoping the rest of
yes. Luca is also going forward into the next room.
I'm hoping the rest of the L squad follows behind me.
You're entering the chamber. You're going to see that what looks like a particularly tough and grim-looking wax knight standing on the balcony. And on one side. On the other side is someone who looks like just looks like a person. There's a person here, but they also seem to have a thin wax coating. You see they have like some kind of wax circlet of some kind around their head. It's hard to make out because this is all like candle wax. You come in here into this room, there are a lot of pipes going a lot of different places, all of them coated in wax. You have, this seems like a kind of a central hub type area. You see there are people that you see the people ahead of you or sort of that are being pressed in, or that were sort of pressed in. You see the knights sort of trying to organize things. They were paying attention to Lila a moment ago, and so it's when Lila was trying to sort of help them get everybody organized. And so they're actually in a fairly orderly line, and you see the one with the circlet just sort of leans forward. You see that you see that she just sort of leans forward. She's about 5'6", and she says, if you will find, we are in need of defenders for the turrets. If you can prove yourselves, you will be given an opportunity to present your petition. You can either help defend the turrets, or you may help inside. These are your options. You do not help, you are thrown out. And some of the people are like, they're having varied reactions. And they're kind of splitting this line into two people. They're splitting this line into two lines that they are, as they're going through, as you have one of the, and it's actually interesting, one of the completely coated in wax people. You can't really see any face or what have you, but they're coming through and they're just sort of looking at people, sort of starting to come down the line, estimating and moving them into one line or another line. And you folks are like at the back of the line, but nothing happening. Yes.
Question for you. I'm thinking about my petition. Do I have any indication of how
So-
close we are to 1 o'clock?
Yeah, I mean, do you have a cell phone?
Or any way of knowing?
Yeah.
I mean, probably I would have taken it with me hiking, and I don't. Although, it might have been in that backpack.
If you have a watch of some kind, if you have a timepiece, then you might be able to tell. There are no clocks in here, however.
Okay. Hey, Lila. She said something about petitions. Do we know what time it is? Could we just ask her for a door out?
Yeah, Lila,
if
it's
we help
about.
defend?
Lila has a cell phone.
Possibly.
Your cell phone is telling you it's a little weird and scrambled right now, but it's somewhere between. You're past 1:30, so it's probably. You're probably like somewhere like 1:35, something like that. 1:30, 1:37.
Right. And given that
No, I'm sorry, not
there's
1,
this
13.
hour
Yeah,
here,
it
means we're a
see.
little.
This is the problem. We have lived on.
Yes.
We
We're-
have
we're
lived on
about
this
half
globe
past
for
the
our
hour.
entire lives, so I'm afraid it's inborn. It's yes, you got a little less than 30 minutes
than
ago.
30
It's
minutes
actually
ago.
13:37 right now.
Which Lana's brain is like, oh, it's 1:30. Why can't we get out?
Yeah. But yeah, you have a cell phone, so your cell phone actually probably will mysteriously say 13:37.
Okay. I think at least one of us, well, all of us should help them, I think.
Side that she is opening, because there is the defending of the turret, but then she said it's inside. What is inside?
Maybe all the people who are out.
Wax Castle.
Okay, so here's my thought and why I asked about the time. We help defend, and then we petition for a door out of this place. I mean, I'd prefer to not leave Dawson, but hell if we know where she is. I'd prefer all of us get out, but 75% is a C in some places. Or
If
we go.
she is still up wherever above without having to go down into the train stations and below, then when we get out, would we not still be able to find her?
Maybe. Depends what happened to her in the past hour.
The wax-coated worker is coming close now.
Is this
This
just
is
the
neither.
knife
They're
or
both
the
up on the
coronet
balcony.
Wearing
This
lady?
is a worker. This is a person coated entirely in wax.
Oh,
You cannot
okay.
see their features, save that they are humanoid. And they are looks like a bigger fellow. Kind of like I said, is they're just sort of looking at people. You don't know how they're making this decision. But they're coming closer, and so they're within earshot of you at this point. If you wish to communicate anything to them before they just decide what line you're in.
I'm not particular where we volunteer, but it would be preferable to stay together.
Somebody make a decision that isn't me.
I do not know what it involves in defending the turret, and I don't know what it involves in being indoors. I don't know either of these
The
details.
waxman
I
stops
can't.
in front of you.
Lila, do you?
I've not been inside.
Buongiorno, Uomo Condela. Is the interior is what? We are a group. We must stay together. What is the inside defenses?
We're going outside.
So
We are going to the
so-
turrets.
the worker looks behind. You folks are like last in line at this point, so he he apparently figures he can take a second. Looks behind. The Wax Knight will be that one of the 2 Wax Knights that you were communicating with earlier. Just sort of glances over. And he'll say, we'll sort of point at Lila. Right. Right. This is one of the one. Oh, God. That one. Now that one was helpful. And he just sort of nods for a second. And he will sort of gesture for the 3 of you to move toward one of the lines. I have a question for you. For you all.
Mm-hmm.
It looks like they're going to start actually moving you toward the interior. But so I just kind of want to know, you know, there are people watching and what have you that are up there. Are you all trying to get particularly noticed, or are you trying to fly under the radar?
So Lana's thought process here is being particularly noticed is probably going to help us get out of here if we choose to use our petition to get us a door. However, Lila is already way too popular here and does not really want to draw any attention to her. Is so fly under the radar, get noticed-ish is the answer, unless someone has another answer.
No, I am in agreement with flying under the radar, because last time she get noticed, we almost died. Someone got decapitated.
If we're going to get noticed for something right now, I would prefer to get noticed for being helpful.
Yes.
Okay, then we draw attention to ourselves. We get noticed.
I'm gonna be the best damn helper this
I
Wax
see.
Palace has
Okay.
ever seen.
So
Also, if he's motioning us towards the line that's staying inside, Lana is just gonna move in that direction.
Yeah, I mean,
taking
sort
the
of
rest
the
the
thing
L squad
being
with her.
that they having helped to the degree that Lila has, they are kind of assuming that you wish to help administratively. It sort of is looking like. And so you can still try to go for the other line if you want to go for the other line and try to fight. But it's up to you.
I mean, Lila has administrative skills.
Are
She
any of
works
us
customer
fighters? I
service.
think no.
I think Lana is the closest to the
Okay.
L squad's fighter.
Uh-huh.
But can
Uh-huh.
I, in this moment,
Uh-huh.
trying to figure out what line is best
Uh-huh.
to get us a way
You
out,
can take a shot at it.
use my madness talent?
So so let's see.
That's
The best way to
Fine.
get out. Mm-hmm. Yeah. What are you looking for
I
here?
want to know. Well, no, the best way to get noticed in a positive light, to turn it into.
You're trying
a
to thread
way
the
get
needle.
out.
You don't have a lot of information yet. Do you want to see the interior before you do this, or do you want to try to make this guess now?
So I'm sure it's more difficult if I make it now. but I feel like we need to know it before we get shoehorned into a line.
Okay.
That's
So,
Lana's thinking.
you
in
don't
this
know a lot
moment.
about what's going on in there, and as far as what's
So-
happening, what sort of things they're going to need people for. And so it's right now it's just 2 lines, and you know one of them is fighting. So we're gonna. This is gonna be difficult. Let me look at pain information here for the wax court. Let's see. Yes. So I'm going to call this a pain right now of 7. And you're going to need to roll in order to intuit this from clues that you're picking up in the courtyard,
Mhm.
in the inner courtyard, the inside the hub of the inner keep, which is not bereft of things. There are things.
Mhm.
You're going to need to roll and how to parlay that into, do a good job, and you can then talk to them and they might let you out. I'm going to ask for you to roll a minimum of 3 madness. And, so, yeah.
Okay. Well, I'm going to up my exhaustion
Okay.
before I roll to 3.
3.
And you said 3 or 4? That was not even close to the right number of fingers. Because I'm probably rolling more than 3. I'm gonna
Okay.
go for a total of 5 madness in this moment. This is crucial,
Okay.
or Lana feels it's crucial.
All right. I'm gonna roll my 7 pain. You got 4 successes. I have 3 successes. Let's see. 664, 665. Pain is dominating. Your best and most efficient chance of you have a choice. All right? A couple of options occur to you. As you're sort of looking around at everything, you're thinking, okay, what sort of administrative stuff needs to happen in a castle? It's probably going to involve helping people move things, helping people, get things, helping people with other people. You're gonna have people who have various duties that they have to see to here. This is an underground castle, so it's probably going to involve shoring things up, trying to. There's going to be a bunch of probably carrying of sandbags, trying to look. There might be a certain amount of looking through the tunnels or talking to people looking through the tunnels. Opening up lanes of communication is probably going to be involved, you think, maybe? So basically just the main thing you think is to be present and able to do things immediately, possibly even try to anticipate what's needed even before it is needed. And that's going to be very difficult because this is a very unfamiliar situation. But demonstrating aid in that way and opening lines of communication in that way, that can happen quickly and efficiently. That seems to be the way to do it. You think they actually, to an extent, use these pipes for communication throughout whatever network this Wax King has.
Okay.
So that's going to be involved as well. So mastering that quickly might be helpful. That's one way to do it. There is another faster way.
That's outside.
There is
Outside.
another faster way. No.
Oh.
I haven't told you what the faster way is yet. To get noticed in a positive light and get some kind of immediate service. Would you like to know what that is? Give them Lila.
Yes.
It does occur to
Absolutely
you.
not gonna happen.
I'm just saying that is part of your madness power. Someone here knows who she is.
Uh-huh.
And you can use that to your advantage. You don't know if that means trading her in, or if that means just getting her to do something specific, getting her to agree, getting her as quickly as possible in front of the Wax King, indicating this is who it is. You might actually get an audience with the Wax King. You sort of bank on Lila. That does, of course, mean that there will be a question of, like, are you trading her in, or are you just making her do something? You don't know, because you don't know what's necessary here. But that could probably work very quickly if you just talk to someone high up and let them know you've got Lila Mendelsohn. I don't know, did Lila tell you her last name? I can't remember. Oh, no, yes, you heard it. Officer Talk said it. You let them know you've got Lila Mendelsohn here.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
She's apparently important to these nightmares, especially the higher-ups. So that'll definitely be a way to get seen, and they'll probably reward you. That's another way to do it.
I've gotten you into so much trouble. Turnabout is fair play.
Yes, but your treachery wasn't as
I present you these
purpose
options
as
occurring
this
to you
would
for
be.
2 reasons. 1, pain is dominating. 2, you're a lawyer.
I mean, Lana is gonna tuck the piece about Lila in the back of her Lululemon leggings just in case we need it, because we do something else silly. Because Lana is not quite ready for that treachery.
Mm-hmm.
What in her mind is treachery? And instead turns to the rest of the L squad and says, we need to be real efficient in our administrative duties. Make sure we keep the lines of communication open, and I think the 3 of us can handle this. It's almost like on some supernatural level, we need to know what needs to be done before it needs to be done. You catching my drift? I mean,
basically my day job.
Yeah, there's a lot of information flowing through those pipes, maybe. There's something.
Yes.
They're harvesting something from it.
Oh, yeah. And Lana will specifically point out the pipes. Easy for me to say to you. I believe they communicate through these.
Yeah, just like Beauty and the Beast from the 80s.
Sure. I guess
Kim
also
just had a memory unlocked in real time.
Also, historically speaking, that's how the upstairs talk to the downstairs. So,
Wow. Okay. Yeah. No. Sorry. I'm just remembering. Just having Ron Perlman related flashbacks. I'm back now. Sorry. Go ahead. What were you doing?
We're going in team inside line inside, and Lana has just had her "That's a Raven" moment and dumped a bunch of information out. The rest of L squad.
Are we following this advice? What are we doing?
I mean, the best advice we have.
Okay.
So
So, as you're kind of going to be heading into the keep, you sort of get into that line, and you're going to find that there are a few different sort of stations at which they have people doing things. And so there is a communication hub, there is a supply hub, there is a weapons hub. And so is there a particular direction in which you folks want to gravitate as you see this happening? It's basically more chambers like these where these different things are happening. There's also there are some people that they're pulling off to go help with the Chandler for whatever reason, but that's its own issue.
Lana is heading more towards
Okay.
the communications.
The thing I need to know as you kind of are coming up to these pipes that are coated in wax, but also have like a number of parts to them. There's machinery attached here into which people are bringing things, sort of feeding things. They're bringing things in baskets. They're feeding things into these machinery attached to the pipes. And there are it's like sort of places people just sort of grip on and look inside, sort of little windowed areas in some of the pipes. And I need to know if anybody is doing anything with the pipes, or if you're going to... Are you waiting to be told about it, or are you doing something immediately with the pipes? Mm-hmm.
There's someplace to look inside the pipes?
Okay.
Sure, I'd like to look inside the pipes.
This... basic glance, what appears to be some, kind of like wax oozing through, but there is a method to it, and things you can kind of almost sense and hear if you're sort of gripping onto the sides of the pipe. There is information that will come to you if you feel as though if you're looking into it for more than a moment. Are you planning to do that? I'm going to give this a pain of 5. We're going to give this a pain of 5. And this is going to be you trying to absorb and interpret and understand what it is that is happening here. Absolutely.
And I can add madness dice to my roll. Okay, I'm going to add 3 madness dice.
I shall roll my pain. You got 3 successes. I got 2 successes. And it looks like madness is dominating. Please check off a response.
Okay.
What response are you checking off? Ah, excellent. Okay.
I have only flight.
This feels appropriate.
Yeah.
It is a little chaotic at first as several things, thoughts and impressions very rapidly are passing through your mind as you are grabbing hold of this and figuring it out and looking into it. These are feelings, senses, ideas, waves of inspiration, waves of emotion, slices of people's lives that have been traded and are being directed and forged into other things. And it's possible to send and receive ideas through these pipes as well, as they come out of your brain and go to someone else's, in a way, or someone else's will come to you. The wax is the physical manifestation of pieces of psyche. And you are realizing they number in at least maybe the thousands, maybe the hundreds of thousands. It's very difficult. This is kind of like someone has turned on the fire hose as you're realizing this, if you're trying to absorb all of this. Someone has turned on the fire hose of tiny bits of people's minds, tiny bits of people's existences that have been traded off, or pulled away, or lost. This is, you realize, often made into the coin of the wax coins. These are where the wax coins come from. But they take pieces of people's existences and turn them into wax. Yeah.
Wax.
And this comes in such a torrent, and this will kick in, and this will cause your flight response to kick in as you are absorbing this and understanding. You now understand how the system works. No.
I don't like it. Not one bit. No. This whole place, everything here is made up of people's memories. Everything is just been melted down. Pieces of people that are traded in are melted down. They make them into the wax, the coins. These are people. This place, this is all people. We have to go. We have to leave. We have to get out of here.
And yeah.
I know, Luca.
You know?
I know.
You know this?
I've been here before. Not in here, but it's the same way up there.
No, I know you trade in your memories and your dreams and things up there for, I did not, it's that, look around you. How many people had to lose themselves to create something like this? Look at this. This is hundreds of thousands of memories of people just remade into what, kingdom for one person? This is twisted. How many people have lost parts of themselves in this city? It is created. This thing is sucking people in. It's devouring them. Look at this.
You know, Luca, right about now, losing some of my memories doesn't sound like the worst thing that could happen to me.
Maybe it sounds good
Some
to you, but not to
people-
me. I don't want to lose my memories. I I don't want to lose anything else to this place. You know, it's already taken my wife and daughter, okay? The idea of losing anything else...
So, this conversation, as this is happening, I'm actually going to take a moment. I'm going to follow the pipes for a second. The pipes we see the pipes as they run through, and we hear this conversation reverberating through a pipe. It continues to wend its way back and forth through the Wax King's castle. And it comes out. There is a chamber. This pipe comes out, and you see a hand grabbing hold of, opening a section of pipe, grabbing hold of a section of it, pulling a thing out. This little sphere of wax, the essence of this conversation, and hearing it. The hand belonging to the woman coated in wax, a light coat of wax with the band of wax around her head. And she turns. This little orb reverberating with these words, this conversation. You see her carry it into the next room. Where we see her staring up at someone. And we hear Lila's words that she's been here before, reverberating for a moment out. We see a hand come forward and ball up into a fist. As the Wax King slowly rises from his throne. We're going to hop over now. I'd like to find... We need to go backwards a little bit. I need to find out what happened to Dawson. This is important.
Good.
Yes.
See,
It's important.
seems like a good
We
place.
Need to know. So, we're going to go back in time just a bit. Shortly before 13 o'clock. Dawson, as you and the others entered the grid, there is something that distracted you, and it distracted you sufficiently that you had to go and check it out. That you had to leave the others to go and check it out.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think this might have been?
And Jim, I know I said I was going to send it to you before right this very moment, but it turns out that choosing to play someone whose expertise is nowhere aligned with my own means that I have to do research every time we have a session. What I think distracts Dawson is that this is a place of neon and like lots of flashing lights and seemingly like infinitely distracting. But what catches Dawson's eye is a particular sign that seems to be a circle divided by an axis, and this is like done in neon, I think, and in each quadrant of this circle is what looks like an equation, and as the light flickers on and off, the circle seems to rotate and the equation reconfigures itself in what is called Hicks rotation, which is part of how we convert Euclidean space mathematically into real and imaginary time. And Dawson is fascinated to find an equation like this at this particular moment when, from everything that Lila has said, time is about to break. So I think she just stops for a moment to look at this and then thinks about stopping everyone else, and then there's just like a little, I don't know, I think instinctive tug, and instead of stopping everyone, she lets everyone continue on into Mad City exteriors and makes her way to this sign herself.
And it's interesting because the question is kind of immediately coming up, is that if you have more of a reference of space-time here, somehow, can that affect what things are how things are happening here? And that seems definitely worth a look. And so you see this rotation, it's happening in this sort of this, it is odd. There's this kind of a glass cube. There's a doorway to go into this glass cube. And you see underneath it, it looks like a kind of a virtual chalkboard. And you see parts of this just sort of equations on there, and it's just sort of a question, a big sort of question mark. That it's like it's not complete, and it seems like there's possibly a lot of information to be gained from this.
Oh, well, my mind works as quickly as a calculator in here, so I'm gonna go for it.
Are you gonna go into the box to do this?
Sure.
Okay. So.
Yeah.
I need you to remind me. Are you using your exhaustion talent or your madness talent right now? Okay.
Exhaustion.
Are you going to do this as a major use or a minor use?
I guess it depends. Does this seem like it's a mostly complete? I think I'm gonna. I lied. I'm not gonna ask this question. I think I'm going to use it as a minor use, because I don't think Dawson. I think Dawson stops worrying about like the time limit of it. Like I can take a second on this, even though in reality
no
seconds
there.
are ticking down to the 15th hour.
So the pain of this, figuring this out, for you, the pain of this isn't going to be as high as I think it would be for someone who's not skilled in this to do. But I'm going to give this a pain of 4. And so I'm just going to push this little button to remind myself that you're using a minor use of your exhaustion talent. And here we are. I'm going to be rolling 4 pain.
Okay. I'm not going to add anything, since I'm getting all those exhaustion successes.
Okay. So you have 3 successes at least. So yeah, you have how many exhaustion do you have? You have 4 exhaustion. So it's actually for 5 successes that you have currently. Which is a good thing because I rolled 4 successes. Let's see. Exhaustion also is dominating. So please add 1 to your exhaustion total.
Yep.
As you're working this out, and... Sorry, go ahead.
Quick question. So I actually have to, because I used an exhaustion talent, I bumped it up to 4.
Yes,
so I have to
correct.
bump it up again, right? Is that correct? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Well, a minor use, you don't have to bump it
How
up
I
ahead of
thought
time.
it
I will
worked, but I
point that
couldn't
out.
remember. Oh. I did. So it is now at 4, which meant I had only 3 6.
Yeah. If
Let's see.
if you would not have bumped it up, then we can.
Yeah, I can either re-roll or.
Yeah. I mean,
I think
Yeah,
I still have.
I mean, the
4
thing being,
successes because I got 1 discipline.
you're still
success.
gonna do fine. I think either way. So I don't think you need to re-roll.
Okay.
But if you want, we can. Yeah. If you would prefer, you can just basically
I
just
switch.
not add another. You now have 4.
Okay. Well, it's
um,
been
oh, no worries.
It's been 2 weeks. My brain
No problem.
stopped,
Here's the thing.
melts into mush.
What you're finding out is that factors are changing as this is going, and you can do this. But you are very tired. You know, it's a little very tiring as you're doing this. And what you haven't noticed, sort of lost track of, is that the cube is moving. So once you take a second and you've
good.
sorted
Good,
this
good,
out,
good.
a couple of things happen. You gain a piece of information, first of all. The first piece of information you gain is that the grid is going to stay in place, which is unusual. You think. The other thing, of course,
Yeah.
is that you have hit the 13th hour. The grid is going to stay in place. The things inside the grid will not. And you're noting
Okay.
this cube, as this clock starts, begins accelerating. It is hoisted into the air and is moving on some kind of a track, some kind of a virtual track that you cannot see. As it sails above the grid.
I
Yeah.
always loved the Great Glass Elevator from Willy Wonka.
Fabulous, isn't it?
It's great.
So this
Yeah.
thing is hovering back and forth. It zips between these poles that are set up, and you see it just sort of hurls itself as you notice the city is moving. You have a very good view from up here, and you see that this thing is being used at least in part. You can use it a little bit predictively, just based on things that you've learned from a very long time ago. That you can kind of see the direction. You can see. You look out and you can see the city's moving. Entire blocks are moving. The penitence district is shifting in a clockwise direction. The financial district is also shifting in a clockwise direction, and it is changing a lot. There's a lot. It's like the financial district. The buildings are all kind of warping a bit. It's very strange. Other buildings are growing up to replace them. Some are moving up, some are moving down, some are moving around. That's very mobile. You see all of these cubes below you. These different big metal cubes that are like the size of about 3-4 stories tall. That These orbs are hovering around, going back and forth in between. You see that across the across the main square where the clock tower is, you see the re-education district lifting up and soaring slowly, gracefully across the upper space of that clock tower district, as it seems to be moving. District 13 is not moving. The only two pieces of the Mad City, the only two districts that are not moving currently, are District 13 and the Grid. There's some kind of connection, it seems. The Market District is flapping around in the void. You're not sure what the hell's going on with that. But it detached. And you actually, for a split second, it sort of drifts a little nearer, and you can see that on like one side of it is kind of contorting back and forth a bit. It's very odd, but that looks okay. It's not exactly this, but that's kind of the sort of the sort of contortion one would make if there were a singularity. So you're not entirely. It's not spaghettifying.
Oh, good.
But there's definitely some kind of internal collapse thing that's going on one end of the Market District. That's not good. So it's dealing with something. Yeah, that would be very bad. Yeah, that would suck.
Near the Market
That would suck for them.
That would be bad.
As you're looking at this, you see that you can see that you're kind of being hurled across other things that are happening. You see that there is. Let me just double check here. Yes, that's good. The Shadow District appears, and you see this whole buildings draped in shadow, with some spires, and looks like sort of slight a little bit post-medieval maybe, very Gothic-looking architecture in the in this very shadowy district, and things are adjusting and changing there. You can see. And you see beyond it. You see a necropolis whose bricks are moving away from next to this district covered in plants. The Garden District. You have the earlier map. Necropolis is moving away from the Garden District. The Drama District appears to be collapsing in on itself in a way as well, but not in the singularity way, just more in sort of this is changing into something else. And you see walls starting to move up, big long walls coming up in that district. So the Drama District is changing just as much as the Financial District is. The Hunger District appears to be doing a weird kind of do-si-do with the Necropolis as they're moving around. They're kind of circling each other. It occurs to you that you might have a slight degree of control here. For this cube, it's going to continue on this route above the grid, back and forth and back and forth. It seems to be heading toward the counterclockwise end of the grid, and you can't really pull it backwards, you think. But if you do something with this equation, you might be able to. Here's the thing. So it does occur to you, if you wish, if you want to try this, you have two choices here, right? You can either wait for this thing to stop at the end of its line, or you can try to rig the thing and get it to go somewhere else. That would probably dislodge it from the grid. Not sure where you're going to land if you do that, but you might be able to direct it. What would you like to do?
I have no idea where anyone else went, so I'm going to assume that they're still in the grid and safe-ish from this changing around. So I think I'm gonna follow it to the end of its line, because if do I think I could get it off of its track and like land somewhere
It
still
would
in
be
the
very
grid, or would
difficult,
it
but
go
you
somewhere
might be able to
else?
manage it. Okay.
Okay, I'm gonna follow it to the end of its line then.
I'm going to come back to you in just a moment. Probably.
Okay.
RPG moment. However units of time are measured in the... That's important.
We have to well, we
Yeah,
have to figure out
exactly.
where the end of the line is gonna be. Yeah,
So, let us now have a little chat with Dustin. Hey, Rrok, are you with us? Excellent. I have a couple of questions for you.
Yep. Sure.
We are introducing Dustin into this game once again. So my first question to you is, what has been keeping you awake lately?
I think lately the thing that's been keeping me awake is so after the events of the last trip to the Mad City, had kind of stepped away from the art world,
Mhm.
doing art and everything like that. And it's been like that for a while. But recently had gone to a couple of art festivals and was starting to rekindle the interest. And the was deciding that for the next festival, we'd go ahead and try and put something, try to have something to show. And it's just started off slow and has been increasingly become an obsession. Just, trying to get something done, trying to meet that deadline, spending more and more hours.
Can you remind us what kind of art you do?
Dustin does, he is a sculptor.
Okay. What kind of sculptures do you do?
Kind of varies, on the last thing that Dustin had been working on was sculptures that could be worn. And I think at this point, right now, just kind of delving back into things, Dustin is working on kind of smaller scale stuff, not really worrying about something that can be worn, just he's trying to do like small statuettes, I think, at this point. Kind of figurine type stuff.
Cool. So, I now have another question for you. And this, I suspect, might be tied into what has happened to you recently. Kick things up a notch. Why on earth did you feel the need to return to the Mad City today?
To try and tap into the creativity that you once had. Ever since the trip to the Mad City, there's always been this kind of thing where it's like the very beginning of an idea, like you have that feeling, that itch of something, of a creative process, but you just can't quite get it to actually take shape. And And I think that Dustin's been toying with the idea that perhaps going back and confronting his fear of the Mad City may bring forth his creativity again.
Hmm. So your original visit was, I want to say, probably about 3 years ago? Yeah.
Something like that.
Have you
yeah.
been back since? Or is this your first time heading back?
Good question. I think I've tried to avoid
Yeah.
coming back. You know how it's, you see that extra doorway in the wall that's not supposed to be there, or you see
Mhm.
that window that's just slightly misshapen. And it's always, when you have that kind of fear where it's kind of like, it's like you see something and immediately you want to go, no, I didn't, and you kind of turn away from it, you try to ignore it. And so I think there's been a couple of occasions in which there's been a brush and has just immediately tried to go in a different direction to avoid returning.
So I take it then you just kind of saw one of these doors. Was it? So let me ask: was this planned, or was this just something where you happened to see one of these doors and were like, "What the hell"?
I think it's a little bit of both. Like you start toying with the idea of, well, what if I go back? What if I did do this? And you don't put any real serious commitment to it until just all of a sudden there's like an opportunity, and it's just kind of like, screw it, why not? And you go for it.
Okay. So you were actively then you started being more actively on the lookout for the opportunities. The so out of also curiosity, if an opportunity happened to come up at say like 12:45, is this one you would still take, or would you try to wait for a different hour?
I don't think time would really play a factor into it. I think it would just be kind of one of those things where it's just like it's that moment where it's like the opportunity presents itself, and it's just kind of like,
Okay. All right.
why not go with it?
So I think that it was a strange thing. You saw this as you were heading away from you. You just came across a doorway that had sort of a neon archway, actually, but it had a door inside. And this was just something that happened to show up in the middle of your day. And somehow I think this was, for you, this was the moment. do you have like did you have like a go bag or anything ready for this, or or did you just sort of go with whatever you had with you?
And with whatever I had with me. Yeah.
It is a strange thing. The city has changed, you find, pretty quickly. There are... the layout is completely different from... Well, I won't say completely. You think it's still a circle? From what little you can tell, you haven't been here very long. But you still have sort of the basics. You have buildings that seem to clash with each other from different eras, vehicles that clash with each other from different eras. Lots of people dressed from different eras, including present day, and then all the way back to something maybe Renaissance-ish. It's hard to say. And then, of course, some of the people don't look human in this place. Some of them look like objects turned into people. Some of them look like they're more animalistic. A lot of them look like nightmares. They take on cryptid qualities, or they take on qualities of urban legends. And this neon doorway emptied out into an area that seemed to have all manner of shops, but they looked very ridiculously modern. It was almost a parody of modernness. You find you were sort of on the edge of a district that looked kind of sort of part cyberpunkish, part Geiger. Some of the architecture on this end it's actually quite beautiful, but also quite terrifying. Lots of chrome and sort of skeletal motifs. Across the street from this other district, swathed in shadow. Which, when the clock strikes 13, as it does not very long after you get here, begins moving. This big void opens up between you and that other district. You've been hunting around, looking around. There is a space, however, as you're looking and things are changing and warping. You see that you think the other districts are moving too, from what you can see. The grid actually, the district you're in, I should say, which, this is the grid, we know this, seems fairly stable, but the buildings are moving around now. And you see one, a sort of a cube-like building rise up in front of you. And it seems to be sort of advertising, coming soon. Three-dimensional art. And it shows, you see on these little panels that sort of are rotating around different sort of, they have sculpture among other things. They have, look like statues, some bigger, some smaller. Not exactly your kind of work, but it's very close. And you can see it also says that there are openings. Exhibition coming. You also will note coming closer. And there are all these spheres, these little spheres hovering around in the air. And one of them sort of hovers down to kind of street level and seems to be matching where you're stepping, where you're walking. It seems to be following you. It sort of hovers closer, and you see it projects words in front of it, even as buildings around it are in not quite chaos. You're not sure. And in front of you, these words get projected. Do you wish to contribute?
I think I'm going to look at it for a moment. There's going to be that kind of thoughtful, where you tilt your head to the side while you regard the sphere, or while I regard the sphere. And then I'm just going to look at the sphere and say, yes.
You see several more spheres are beginning to float over to join it. And it is a strange sensation as you notice in red letters starting to scroll across the face of the sphere, again sort of hologrammatically. Scan commencing. Across several of the spheres, your contribution will be appreciated forever. And these beams of light are coming out, trying to scan you up and down. Are you going to allow them to do so? Or not?
I mean, I think for a moment, there's going to be kind of like a step backwards. But then when it does, I mean, I'm assuming that when the beams start to scan me, like I don't feel anything. Like it's just like
Do
a
you wait for
regular
the beams to touch you?
holographic, like laser scan, right? Yeah. Like, yeah, there's
ever-
like that hesitant step back.
You ever have
then
this
pause.
sensation that's scanning you up and down? You ever have this sensation that something is being pulled from your mind? What was your most recent sculpture of?
I want to say, so was working on a figure, and I want to say that the only thing that was coming to mind was I forgot the character's name. From the original game, the video game character. Was it something Star?
Oh yeah.
That's
Yes.
Star Maker.
Star Maker. Yes.
Was that what it was? Star Maker. Yeah. Yeah. So I think like subconsciously that was kind of like about the only thing that was really coming to mind when Dustin was trying to work on a figure sculpture.
Okay. So you see an image of Starmaker appearing sort of this three-dimensional hologram of Starmaker appearing. And there is a sensation of this being pulled from you. This inspiration. And it kind of hurts a little. See her basically with her mask and her red hair sort of flowing behind. And you see it appear on this little electronic billboard that's above that building that just appeared. Mm-hmm.
When you say it kind of hurts a little, are we like how is this being felt? I mean, is this like is it a migraine forming, or is it kind of like a whole body kind of thing, like ache, or
so
like
I am about to,
almost more like that.
I'm about to. It's a little like vertigo.
Vertigo.
I think that there is a thing that has occurred to me. As a way to describe it. It does require. Let me check our lines and veils real quick before I use this description. This doesn't go exactly into body horror, but this is more of a. Nope. Wait. Nope. We have a veil. So. Yeah, you're. Yeah, it's we're gonna say that it's kind of like, as you were saying, it's sort of like vertigo. It's this sort of like sort of thing, and it's sort of like you're looking at everything, and it's kind of this weird, slightly distorted thing that is happening, and you see an image of Starmaker appear. You know that it is not the one you left, the actual Starmaker nightmare that you left here. But a hologrammatic image of her appears, and she turns to you and says, "Excellent. When you join the grid, they will help you achieve perfection."
Yeah.
And you can see the grid. These spheres are starting to hover closer and closer to you. And you think some of them are starting to extrude little things. You're not sure. Pins? Needles? Maybe something like that. Or they could be little knives. It's hard to say.
Okay. Yeah, I think this is the, I mean, I think from initially seeing Starmaker just appear is going to be enough to cause me to like stumble backwards a step or two. And as soon as the spheres start to move closer, I'm definitely going to kind of look for an escape, whether that's like turn and run or
excellent.
Try to go around.
Let me see here. This will be. Let me look at my my grid information here. Grid construct. This is going to be a pain of 5. And as you're looking around, trying to find escape. And you may, if you wish, you may increase your exhaustion before you roll your permanent exhaustion by 1. But aside from that, you just click. The way you do it on the character sheet now is you just click the little die button, and it'll do all three of the die pool rolls for you, and it will ask you if you want to add madness. So you don't have to increase the madness, permanent madness ahead of time.
Cool.
It'll ask you.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So, discipline is 3.
Okay.
And permanent exhaustion now goes up to 1. And then I go ahead and all right, cool. So it asks extra madness. Which definitely. Let's go with
Okay.
2 madness dice.
All right. You got 2 successes. I got 3 successes. Let's take a look and see what's dominating. Looks like pain is dominating, and I also get to extract a cost. So let us see. I think I'm going to I'm going to put your please put your exhaustion up by 1, an additional 1. This is going to be very tiring. And so you're running about looking for a way out. You are going to see Evans, help us. You are going to see a subway entrance. That looks like that is a way out. You don't know if they can go, if they can follow you, but you're trying to, if you figure if you dash for it, you might be able to get through. And if you can dash through and hop the turnstile, you might be able to do something.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
Okay.
I'm gonna
You run. See this basically glittering. It says subway. You're dashing down. And so, before I tell you about the chamber you're going to enter into, Dawson, the cube is descending. It's going down. You find there's this big square, this square hole that it's going down into, you think. It's going down beneath the surface of the grid.
Oh. Oops.
And then around you it gets dark. And then some doors appear, some lights come on, a door appears in front of you, a big metal door. That is going to open up with a ding, like an elevator door. And let me just throw a thing in here to see what we have. Yes. Yes. Okay. You will see it dings open, and it says, "Welcome to Grid Station Alpha." You see a sign on the far wall. See a tiled floor. And you see what look like turnstile type gates. It's wide, it's a medium-sized room. And speeding down and around the corner, you will see an artist. And we will get back to that in a moment. I think we're going to go ahead and take a little break, if we're good with that. Let's see. I'm just going to go ahead and hit the break button. I don't know exactly how long of a break we're going to take, because we're a little bit late here. We will be back shortly. See you soon. we have returned. And so we're hopping back, actually, to the sewers. We're going to head down. Going to go across this subway terminal hub, down one of the tunnels, hang a right into the sewers, cascade around these morphing, changing pipes, these changing tunnels, till we find ourselves briefly going through dark water, and then through a wall, and down a bit, and into a couple of chambers where we see wax-coated individuals hammering away at things, trying to shore up places, stopping leaks. Fighting. You hear fighting distantly from some of the quote-unquote parapets. Locking down entrances. On the inside the keep of the Wax King, there is a communications hub. Messages are passed back and forth very rapidly. It is a question of getting the most vital input and output where it needs to go. Some things need to be made, some things need to be hammered out, things need to be shored up. This place is under attack. And it has many tunnels. For the Wax King's territory, as far as anyone knows, is vast. Or was until very recently. These pipes go everywhere under the Mad City. So, Lila and Lana and Luca, have you been working here? Or have you been doing something else? It hasn't been long.
Yeah. Yes, but is the answer to your question. Lana is definitely working. And as much as her belief and trust in Lila has been shattered multiple times, she's still looking out for Lila because she believes Lila is her way out. Or into more trouble, but hopefully out. And depending on what Luca is doing, she's probably also keeping her other eye on him just to make sure he's okay. But mostly on Lila.
Luca has been working because he wants to get out of here. That's it.
Yeah. Luca, you understand this machine now. You actually can make use of it. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't like it.
Do you help the others figure it out,
it.
or do you leave them to face their own individual horrors as they?
No, I'll help them figure it out, but
Yeah.
I just want to get out of here as soon as humanly possible. I don't
no.
think Luca trusts Lila anymore.
Lila, what are you doing?
Period.
Lila's working.
It's gonna occur to you. If you find the right pipe, you can hear a lot going on. You can hear like a lot of different places in the Mad City. It's kind of fascinating. It's shifting around right now as the districts are shifting. You think enough time has passed, though, they're starting to settle down a little. So it's possible to glean things, if you wish. But that, of course, would mean you're not focusing on working. It just sort of depends.
Well, I mean, Lila's really working to try to get people out.
It's true. It's true. You let me know if you want to try to take advantage of this system, or if you... Right, is anyone trying to take advantage of the system, or you're just using it for what it's... to defend the Wax Kingdom?
So...
This just tells me how much information to give you, by and large.
Yeah, I think if Lana is going to send a message and can slyly stick her ear to another pipe to hear what else is going on, like, she's not gonna pass up the opportunity, because deep down inside, even though there's certain recent memories she'd like to not have, soul sucking seems like murder to her.
It's only the tiniest piece of your soul. You hardly know that it's missing.
Yeah, but if it happens multiple times, then you have no soul.
I mean, yeah, it's fair. I mean, you know, there are pieces. There are people who give away like 37 pieces of themselves just at once. It's tragic. It really is. Yeah,
it'd be really
Who
dumb
would do
if
that?
someone did that.
Who would do that?
Why?
I mean, what difference does it make if you give 37 pieces away at separate times or all together? They're still gone.
Right? Yeah, it's true.
Yeah, no, sorry. You were trying to.
I got no words.
You were trying to rig the system here. What are you looking for?
Yes. So Lana knows that the Mad City is in a state of flux currently. And while trying to map the Mad City is maybe not possible, trying to figure out, I guess, how do I want to put this? I think she's trying to figure out some sort of layout of what's like nearby or up above, rather.
Okay.
Where they are in the Wax Kingdom, if that makes sense.
Is probably going to be pretty simple. So I'm actually only going to assign I'm only going to assign a pain of 2.
Okay. Because ultimately, like, next time, Lana knows if plan A doesn't work, plan B is get above ground and figure out our next move. Yes. I need to open up my character sheet because my computer is being a pain in my butt. I am rolling 3. Could I argue if I used my madness talent, like, would I gain more information about the world above, or have the possibility?
Okay, I'm sorry, my brain was shifted away for just a second. What are you trying to glean using your madness talent?
Well, I guess I want to have a more... I guess what I would like to know as a player, does it benefit me to use my madness talent at this point? Because it is insight
Your madness talent
Base.
has a lot to do with sort of trying to figure out. Yeah, basically figure out
Suss
your
out context clues.
your best options and alternatives. So I mean, it's possible.
Okay, that's fine. I'm just gonna roll. I'm
Yeah.
going to just.
You can roll
my
madness if you
discipline
want.
and
It's just
my
you don't necessarily
exhaustion.
have to use your talent
Not
on it.
add any more mad.
Okay.
No,
All
that's
right.
okay.
I'm gonna roll a 2 pain.
I understand.
All right. I got 1 success. Got no 6s. Let's see. Looks like no one has any 6s. It looks like exhaustion is dominating. So please add 1 to your exhaustion. But so this is. It's like it takes you kind of have to like work around all these pipes, sort of figure it out, and like you can do it, but it's just like, okay, I got to be in a different position for this, and kind of get into a slightly awkward thing where I reach over and I listen to this and figure out just to see the logistics here. And here are some things you find out. You want to know, and again, what are you trying to find out? Just so that I'll know. Remind me one more time.
So I would like to know, at a minimum level,
Okay.
what is
So,
above us?
you are in one of the more stable areas, you think. You are very close
Okay.
to, you think, if you have got your directions right, you think the clock tower is somewhere above you. That district, that central district.
Okay. Okay. I don't know how much Lana knows.
I mean, you saw the
know
clock
whether
tower
that's
when
a
you were
good
on the
thing or a
surface,
bad
so you know it's
So
there.
that's fine. Right. I know it exists. But I feel like there are some places I want above me right now and some I don't. And as a
Yeah.
player, I know this.
There's
I don't
also
know if Lana
near-
does.
Not immediately above, but very nearby, there is this sound. There's some pipes you just hear the sound of ticking. And again, not nearby you, but
Okay.
nearby on the surface. So you get that. Yeah, in general, and that was mostly what you were looking for, just trying to sort of figure out where you are situated.
Yeah. Because I don't know if I want to
Alright.
go through with plan A anymore.
Everything else is kind of in, yeah. Other areas are kind of in
So I'm
flux
trying to figure
somewhat,
out plan
but
B.
yeah, it's. You're hearing large slabs of things come down, so you think that the districts that are moving through midair, all that kind of thing, they're settling. You think.
Okay. So I'm not hearing as
Well,
much like rumbling.
Yeah, not as much, but
As
there's
maybe
still
we
some
were when
rumbling
we
from
were
like
on the
down here
surface?
because there's like water is still getting into places. But above, no. Not as much.
Okay.
Now, while you have all been trying to, work, get this thing together, there comes a point when this big knight that you saw on the balcony steps through. And into this chamber. He is accompanied by the woman with the circlet round her head. She points to you three.
I look behind me to see if anyone else is behind us.
And Lila, there is a chance that the big knight, by the way, now that you are getting a close-up look at him, looks kind of familiar. This is probably one that you've encountered before.
Okay.
You can't tell for sure if he recognizes you because, again, his eyes are the ends of candles that are lit with a blue flame.
Yeah.
The woman points at the three and says, "You three. Over here, please."
Okay.
We'll step forward. I don't want to do anything rash yet. Make us have to, like, jump to plan God only knows what letter.
And she will point down one of the tunnels and say, "This way, please."
How about no?
You hear the sound of steel being moved from a scabbard.
We do not want trouble. We have been doing our work just fine. We are not here to start trouble. We will go.
The woman smiles. It's a little too late for that. His Majesty would like to see you.
We have no business with the king of wax. We are just trying to finish our job so we can go.
He has business with you. And actually, she's looking at Lila specifically when she says that.
Well, I'm pretty sure she's the one you want.
What is his concern with us?
Well, as we know, my dear companion,
The knight is going to
She's
start
made
moving to
enemies of
circle
everyone.
around to the other side of you. Is anyone doing anything?
I do not. Hey, you are making enemies here? We have done nothing. What have you done?
I think we better just walk.
We
down.
are going. This is a misunderstanding.
I'm sure. Come with me, please.
We will go.
Mhm.
She turns around, starts moving down the tunnel.
Well,
The knight will wait for you to also go down the tunnel, and and then he will follow you.
Mhm, we're following.
The three of you are brought into a chamber. It looks, Lila, in some ways similar to a chamber that you've been in before. But there are certain differences. You went up a little bit. You're in a higher part of the sewers. There are several doors moving out of here. There are stone walls again, and in between, stone. And when I say stone walls, I mean, stone bricks, basically, built up in certain areas between the sewer tunnels. And
Are the
stone
walls
bricks.
just brick?
You're not sure. You're not sure what's behind them. But there's some, and then there's brick and there's metal.
Right.
There's also metal
That
because
one-
of the
I'm
sewer
not
tunnels.
so much.
And there are pipes.
I'm more looking for weapons.
You do not pass any weapon racks.
I don't want sewage all over me any more than it's already been all over me.
There are pipes. If you want to try to wrench a pipe from the wall.
I'm still racking my brain to try to.
In this chamber.
I feel like that's gonna be too obvious. I was hoping for like a
Oh yeah, you want to find a loose brick of some kind to use as a weapon? I should explain the bricks are about this big. So this is the kind that will take probably 2 hands to hold on to without dropping. If you want, you can try to get one of those, but
that's a little less
okay
useful for my purposes. No, that's fine. I'll just keep going.
In this chamber, there is kind of a dais, and a couple of doors leading off from it. Standing on top of the dais, and you see standing around the dais, you see a few more wax knights. Standing atop the dais is a man. As described, his head hung low as though supporting a great unseen weight, and his features had a melted quality to them. The look was enhanced by his crown, if you could call it that, a great candle, as wide across his head as and lit by a blue translucent flame, sat upon his bald pate. And as the wax stripped down the sides of his face and body to form his vestments, he beckoned me closer. So, the Wax King steps forward and looks down. You've been very industrious.
Yes, well, it seemed like our best way to survive the switching hour.
You weren't wrong in thinking that. As I recall, the last time you were here, you were at the center of rather a lot of chaos. It was a, shall we say, a difficult time for the court. We have come upon another difficult time for the court, and I find you here yet again. Why do I feel as though that is not a coincidence?
Either what is he talking about?
Maybe we can just brush it under the rug, this may be coincidence, if I offer you a proposition.
We'll talk deals once the question and answering session is finished. Yes?
I was hoping we didn't have
Yes,
to
I
answer
can
the
see
questions.
that.
That's why I was offering.
And he just sort of turns and he looks down at his Castellan aide, the woman with the circlet. My God, is this a lawyer? I think so, Your Majesty. It makes sense.
That's District Attorney, Your Highness.
Listen, Sobrano, we just got here. Whatever is going on in your castle.
I am not
is,
blaming you
not our,
for what is happening.
co-
I need you to understand this, apparently. What I would like to know is what is going on. And he points to He points to I need you to remind me, Alyssa, I need you to remind me of something. Did you talk to the Wax King the last time you were here? Was there talking? I feel like there was a lot of running and things.
So?
I think you saw the Wax King, maybe?
Yeah.
You got into, yeah.
We saw the Wax King, like, across a chamber when there was a lot of chaos happening on, I think we blew up a gear factory or something. Yeah, but I don't think we actually...
Yeah, I think that's probably the case. Yeah. Okay. So, he's going to say...
Yeah.
What are you called? Lila Mendelsohn.
Lila Mendelsohn.
Why are you here?
I would love to know the answer to that question myself.
Uh-huh. Right. You keep getting drawn here, and it's not your fault, you're saying. My reports had said that you got caught up in our conflict a couple of years ago with the Shadowlings.
Yes.
And that spilled over. Now, that one probably is on me. However, I know I didn't draw you here this time. Did others draw you here?
I think so.
You have any idea why?
Not entirely sure, but I happened to be on a train with
subway.
Others who were also awake.
Those who are trying to cut into my territory want you here for some reason. Did you see anyone? Or anything that might be an indicator?
As we were traveling, I thought I saw one of those things that was attacking outside the gate. I've never seen them before.
It's very strange. It would suggest they are as far as I'm aware, I think that they're some of the Howler's pit fighters. The Magnificent Howler. It's normally he keeps to the outskirts. You may find his territory from the glowing red pipes. We cannot reach there. Why would they want to drive you here? What purpose would that serve? Probably.
Create a distraction, maybe?
Well. We can't have that. Can we? As you've noticed, someone is making major moves right now, and they think that you're a good X factor. I'll be generous and say that's what it is, assuming you're not colluding with them. I bid you be honest with me, as this is your only opportunity to do so. Are you colluding with any of the other players.
I did not intend to be here tonight. I was supposed to be somewhere else.
You are, at this time, attempting to convince the Wax King of your honesty, or your, There's a word I'm reaching for, and unfortunately ADHD has stolen it from me. It's a very simple word. I can't remember it right this second. Honesty is close enough, however. There we go. Thank you.
Integrity?
No one here thinks I have any.
Well, I'm about to make Lila roll something. So is this an in-character question or an out-of-character question?
It's
Okay, yeah, go ahead.
An out-of-character question that could be relevant to this because one of my talents has to do with convincing people to see things.
No, it's
my way.
understandable. If you would like to help, that's possible, but this is primarily targeted at Lila.
Okay. I just had to lawyer my way into maybe being a lawyer.
This is gonna be, well, you can still help. That's the thing. But we're only gonna count you because Lila needs to lead this one. Because this is lore. See, the Wax King.
I tried, Alyssa.
Now,
I'm not going to lawyer.
Now, the Wax King has a pain of 10.
Lawyer your way out of this one, or help you. Ugh.
And you're trying to.
Lovely.
You're trying. You are. Jim knows you're telling the truth. And so you are trying to. Yeah, you're trying to convince him of that.
Nobody else does.
And so Lana, if you wish, you can help. We'll just use any successes from your discipline if you also wish to roll. Lila, is there anything you want to employ here? Also?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I help with one. I'm probably not very convincing because this is like the opposite side
it's
of
fair.
the
You're used to
lawyer coin
prosecuting.
than what Lana is used to. This is more being a. Yep. I'm sure I had a defense lawyer class.
I mean, you
at
had to
some
learn
point
about it.
in
Yeah.
my education, but
So, Lila, is there anything you want
yes.
to? Anything? How do you want to throw at this?
I feel like utilizing any of my talents against the Wax King when he has asked me to be honest might perhaps undermine
it certainly might.
said attempt to be honest. So,
Okay.
no. I'm just going to do a flat roll and hope that
Okay.
he believes me.
Does
Jim could roll really poorly.
Does Luca want to add anything to this, or are you staying out of it? That's fair.
Luca doesn't believe
Luca, would you
me.
like to help the Wax Kings? No. No.
I'm
That
sure
puts
Luca
Lana in a real bad
would like to
Sure.
know the truth as much as anyone else here.
Okay. So you have a total of 6 successes. I'm going to go ahead and roll my pain. And see what we get. Well, no, low numbers would be
Low
bad
numbers.
for you because that would mean successes. I only got 4 successes. Let's see what's dominating. Discipline is currently dominating. Do I wish that state to continue? That's the question.
You
I have
can?
a lot of despair right now. It's kind of my duty to use it. I'm gonna make exhaustion dominate.
Mhm.
So you must add 1 more to your exhaustion.
Fabulous.
I believe is going to put you at 6. As your
Indeed it does.
oh god, I gotta actually explain myself. And you do. has been a very long
Such a
day.
long day.
And ridiculous.
I wasn't even supposed to be
And the
here.
Wax King stops and he's like, as you're talking, he
Plans
sort
have
of
gone
nods.
Very wrong.
I'm going to choose to believe you. I think you are in earnest. I've seen this happen. Well, yes, that, and I think it's, it seems to me that you're certainly no friend of District 13. Which is fine by me.
No, they've been
It would so
after me
appear.
from the
Well, I mean,
start.
after last time, I heard what happened. It is understandable. Every time Tak is rebuilt, he seems that much more tightly wound. You'll forgive the expression.
I
Joke.
noticed.
You wanted to make a deal, I think. Yes?
Yes.
Yeah.
What are you offering?
One of my memories. I want you to get us out of here. Out of Mad City.
As you might have noted, I am rather busy at the moment. I am taking this time to try to come to grips with what is happening and what resources might be at my disposal for this. That is not something I can allow just now. However, I think I can see clear to... I don't want one of your memories. But there's something I think I'm going to ask you to do for me. If you do this, then I will give you exit. I will find an exit for you. I will have to find one. They're all going to change in a moment. But I will put my resources to that. If you'll do this task. Come and take a look there. He points to sort of the side of the room where he has someone who's like at one of those periscopes.
Mm-hmm. Lana will
Look there
walk
and
over
tell me what you see.
Take a look.
Now, what you see. He's positioned it for you. The scope is seeing. You're not sure where this is. And there is this kind of shaking, this very distant rumbling, but it's very far away. But you see what looks like pieces. It looks like it's pointed at this set of yes, let's give this to the one who doesn't know the district. So you see this. So there are these, it's pointed, so you see there are these buildings that have a bunch of plants on them and around them, hanging from them everywhere. Just, there's a lot of these buildings with all these plants, and running in between them now is this, what looks like a river. Snaking its way through that district. Bit of a dark river. You see, like, the edges of it sort of off to the left from where this is pointed. Like, parts of of streets and buildings are sort of crumble down to allow this river to go through.
So Lana describes it not knowing the names of the districts, but she goes, it looks like it reminds me of the Hanging Gardens of Babylon, because, ancient mythology reference. And there appears to be a river cutting through it. I get the feeling
Correct.
that river didn't used to be there?
Things are starting to settle down, so I think it will be possible to identify the source of that river. That may tell us something. I'd like you to find out where that river is coming from. If you can, what's causing it, but just knowing its source will help. Because it's made its way down here, as you might have noticed.
I mean, we are in the sewer, or we were in the sewers.
There has not been a river in the Mad City for a considerable amount of time, if there ever was. Someone has made a major alteration, and it is cutting into my territory and my ability to maintain stability here. And that will not do. Find the source of this river, and I will give you an exit. You find that for me, I will find an exit for you. That is my offer.
Can I get this in writing so you hold up your end of the deal if we hold up ours?
You wish this to be a contract? A binding contract. Consider your choice carefully here.
You just got here. Are you sure you want to get more involved?
Lila, I think that ship has sailed. I have intertwined my story with yours. I
suppose, but
I want to guarantee that at least some of us get out of here if we do what he asks.
all right.
We'll turn to Lana. What is your name? The name you go by will be fine. It will be
the name
sufficient.
I go by or my full name?
It's Lana.
Lana.
Yeah. He turns to the woman with the circlet. Please provide Miss Lana with a contract. And she almost shudders for a second when he tells her that. Very well. She reaches into a pouch, removes a large wax coin. This is bigger than any wax currency you may have seen here. It seems to have something of a royal emblem on it. It's representative of a candle. Picture of a candle. That candle emblem, by the way, looks kind of familiar, by the way, Lana.
Oh, shh. Okay.
And she holds it out, and she says, by accepting this token, the contract will be made and binding.
think there is a long, drawn-out pause before Lana does anything. But she reaches out and takes the coin.
You feel something happening when you take it.
At least you... And she looks at Lila and Luca. Hopefully you can find Dawson and the three of you can get out of
You
here.
feel...
God forbid anything happen here.
When you take the coin, you feel as though it's interesting. You feel as though you have made a promise. You get the feeling of having made an unbreakable promise, and that something has been promised to you in return. It's very strange, but it's that same feeling you get when you sign a major contract with someone. And as you take the coin, around the wrist of the hand that you take it from, you note flowing down from the coin, the wax comes around your wrist and forms a bracelet. It is done. Now, if you've no more... Now, my knights will see you to the surface.
Very well.
I would hope to hear from you soon. If another 13th hour passes
It has to.
without this information, I fear it is going to cost much to everyone. And, some wax knights will begin escorting you. If you've nothing else... Is there anything else anyone wants to do while you're still in the company of the Wax King? Alright, they will begin escorting you. Now, let us flip back to the underground. The subway. Let's see. I believe what were we doing? I think we were doing that. Running from orbs.
Running from orbs. Half of us were.
So, underground. Dawson, I need to tell you something.
Mm-hmm.
This is a thing you were figuring out. Even before, I need to even step back a second. Because you were figuring something out. Realizing something.
Mm-hmm.
And that is... two things. Something about this formula that you've been working on has kind of unlocked something a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
That it's like you're not sure if it's a sort of an additional sense or if it's just like, I can use mathematics to figure this out. It's a realization. Two things that thinking about this problem in Minkowski's space kind of helps with a little bit.
Okay.
It is something that you were, because you just discovered this from the Lovelace book. You're gonna have to sort of look at the formula again that she's got in there. But you think first. This is how you notice this, that there's a kind of a resonance. The idea of like attracting like. That this can be used predictively in some ways. And that, like, thinking about it, sort of calculating the motion of things, you might possibly, it's a phenomenal undertaking to try to take in the whole of the equation for the city itself. But on an individual level, depending on what you're playing with here, you might be able to figure out certain things about either the motion of the city or directions of things. You might be able to figure out how and where things might move. You might be able
to
suss that out.
Okay.
It's not as good as a map, but it's changeable, which is really good. The other thing that you're noting that it's helping with is sort of a prediction of, like, you can kind of use it to try to anticipate like versus like happening. That thing. These coincidences. And you noticed this because, as you were looking at it, you realized one of those things is about to happen. Like, immediately. Something... There's a connection of some kind that you are about to encounter. The elevator door opens into the Grid Alpha station. And immediately around the corner comes Dustin. What does Dustin look like? Rrok.
Just kind of your average tall, lanky redhead. Nothing really spectacular kind of sticking out. Probably actually wearing like slacks and just kind of a t-shirt, denim jacket.
And Austin, do you wish to be seen by this individual? I guess is the question.
Yeah, I think the doors opening, yeah. I'm assuming they make a little ding sound like an elevator does. So yeah, like as Dustin sees, wow, this is gonna be confusing. As Dustin sees Dawson,
oh no.
Maybe I'll have to start going by my first name again. As Dustin sees Dawson, he would see, like, again, I think she's like average height, like 5'5"-ish, but she slouches, wearing, also looks kind of average and unforgettable, but is like like particularly mousy, I'd say. Just looks like the stereotype of an academic at this point. She is, however, like, because of this realization and these things, like, kind of percolating in her brain, as soon as they make eye contact, there's not a, like, surprise at all. She looks very, like, certain and, like, knowing in the moment, like, oh, of course this was about to happen. And I'll step out of the elevator.
Yes, there are some orbs coming. You don't see them yet.
I see the spheres.
But it kind of, he does have that posture that you're becoming much more familiar with. You've become much more familiar with over the last few hours of this
running.
Person is being chased by something. Yeah.
Hashtag relatable.
I should describe terrain a little bit, as you've got sort of this tiled floor, and a lot of sort of glowing panels up around advertising different things. There are these sort of turnstiles that look kind of like these very sort of high tech looking things that'll sort of turn as you sort of will come through, that have this kind of they look almost like airport security thingies. Basically, each doorway has little turns, sort of metal doorway. Mm-hmm. It's like an airport scanner to a certain extent. There's a term that I'm looking for, and that we're trying to remember. Metal detector. That's the word. That's what I was thinking.
Like,
it is.
Oh, I was gonna ask if it was
Looks
like a metal detector or like the X-ray scanner
type deal. And there are like 3 of them next to each other in a little turnstile, and each one where you're supposed to put in a coin. From beyond that, and it's in the middle of this sort of this glass-looking wall, so you can see through it. And beyond that, into this sort of the station hub, where you have, it looks like this big kind of information center type deal, where there's this kind of this cube that stands in the middle of this tiled floor. Everything looks like it's automated, different panels, where people can put in different things, inputs and what have you. Tunnels leading off in a number of different directions, that probably head down to a subway of some kind, more than likely, but maybe other places as well. That is what you see in this station. On this side, just sort of back and forth, there are on this side of the glass wall, there are a number of vending machines, and what have you. But that is the environment, Dustin, in which you find yourself as you're racing down the stairs and you come around here. And you see Dawson. Go ahead.
Sorry, I'm having a theater of the mind moment.
Yes.
So
Yes, you
we're
are.
both on the same side of this glass wall. Okay, cool. I'm going to, Dawson steps out of the elevator. We make eye contact. Dawson goes this way, and I'm gonna go head for the turnstiles.
Okay.
And just, jump.
This will be a delight.
This very mousy, nerdy looking girl, just all right, follow me.
Dustin,
let's
are you
go.
following?
Crime.
And you...
Yeah, because I think Dustin has got just enough of a glance to be like, okay, normal human person, not likely to be a nightmare. So
yeah. This person, you can kind of tell almost immediately, and also considering how tired she looks, that this person's probably also awake. So you're gonna run to jump the turnstile. This is a security thing connected to the grid. So let me find my grid my grid pain ratings. Not fully a grid construct. It's attached to the grid. I'd rate it around the same level as a grid projection, so we're going to go with a pain of 3. And I'm presuming Dawson is leading this, and Dustin can help if he wishes, which means just rolling, but we'll only take your discipline as a thing. Yeah, well, I mean, if you just make a regular roll, and I'm only going to count your discipline. And
okay, yeah, sure.
And
correct.
His pools
but
don't count.
Again, whatever does dominate,
right?
if you choose to do that, will come down on all of you, on both of you, both of you.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
All right. So so I'll go ahead and I'll do the help.
Cool.
Okay, so, well, probably good that he did help, because that's 4 successes versus 3 pain. I only got 1 success. Let's see.
But it's only his.
Right, he got 2 discipline successes. Oh no, he got 2.
Right? So it's only 2
and you got
successes.
2, so that's 4.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did I? Oh, I did. Ha. I can read. I
It's in there
promise I
somewhere.
know how to.
It is.
And is discipline
fact.
dominating for me?
Let's see. Do I want to be terribly evil right now? I could. It's the time. But no. We will discipline will dominate. Because it is. Yeah, we'll let that happen. So discipline is dominating, which means not only does this work, but you're able to also remove either a check mark from from a response, or you may go down 1 in exhaustion. And that goes for Dustin as well.
The nice thing, I'm gonna remove.
Yes.
I'm gonna remove an exhaustion. The nice thing about discipline continuing to dominate for Dawson and like her doing a good job is that it's definitely making me play way more risky than I normally would be. So I think eventually
these things called consequences
will catch up to me.
Who is this consequences person? I don't know her. You are very skillfully, nimbly able to jump through this thing, and for some reason it's not going to raise. It's not really going to raise an alarm on you. Yeah, you got 3 more successes than me. Somehow you are foiling the alarm system on this thing. I wonder how you're doing that.
Luck, magic.
I was gonna say mathematics. That's how
You're seeing. It's
Math
just this infinitesimal
stays.
thing that you notice as you are running toward it. The sequence that you notice the little guns blinking in, the little light guns blink in, and it's like, damn it, I can leap at this exact moment.
That's exactly what it is. And then there's a second where like Dustin is also about to leap, and Dawson just like has him pause for like half a second, and then he tumbles through after. I'm like, stay in school, kids. You too will be able to fool Subway. Subway turnstiles are easy. You just
there we go. Oh my god.
TSA metal detector.
Channel Other Doc does not in any way endorse the use of any means any illegal means to defeat airport security requirements. But that said,
yes.
The illegal use of math.
Illegal use of math.
Yes, no, we do not support
math is only
the use of illegal activities, as that is also against the terms of service. So the 2 of you are through. And again, you're on the other side of the glass wall. And again, you see this hub, a bunch of corridors going out. You see this sort of information cube that is there to presumably direct people to different places. Or possibly to do more stuff. Who knows what the cubes can do? But up to you folks what you would like to do. What would you like to do?
Does it seem like the spheres, which I'm
Yes,
assuming
they're
are
hovering
now
down the
in
stairs.
Sight. Does it look like they can? Does it? I mean, if we wait a second, does it look like they can come through the?
Yeah, I mean, there's no reason to
see,
think they can't come through the turnstiles. You're still in the grid, so it's possible.
All right, then I'm then down to the subway.
Okay.
Is where I will head.
Yeah, they're basically.
Gonna follow.
Mhm.
I'm Dawson, by the way, as she will say, as like just thudding down the stairs.
Yep. Dustin, and then just keep following.
You have a choice. As you are descending, you're coming down. There are tunnels that head from here. Also, you note into the sewer system. If you want to go into the sewer system, as you are rabbiting down the stairs, you'll note that some of the shapes of the tunnels are changing a little bit. As we're still within 13 o'clock as this whole thing is happening. And let me look at my maps for just a second here whilst I am figuring this out. Okay. Yes. Yes. Okay. That's gonna move that way. Yeah, there's no reason to think that wouldn't be there. So, this station, you have a choice. You can go to the sorry, not red. From here you can reach the blue line or the green line. You get a sense from a quick glance of a map that may or may not still be in service shortly, but the map has yet to be updated. That the green line is further inside. It's an inside circle within the bigger districts. The blue line and the green line, it looks like it is a complete unbroken circle. The blue line looks like it reaches around a good number of the districts, but the smaller districts around the outside. But it's not a complete circle. So there's going in. If you want to turn toward one of those, to hop on one of those if you so desire. Or you can try to go somewhere else. Let me see if I can actually make this even a tiny bit easier. Do I have this in here? I do! I'm gonna make something visible. Since you're here, and since Dawson will be able to remember this probably from just glancing at the damn thing. In your handouts, you will now find the subway map. I need to point out this is probably going to change very soon.
Yeah, but
Potentially,
potentially
yes.
while we are on it,
But
if we actually get on
That shows
one.
the tunnels. The subway tunnels, at least. Yeah, so you're
You said green line
at the
and
point
blue
you're at
line?
the point on the grid that was closer, was coming in. Yeah, that can where you can hit the blue line or the green line. You can turn, and there are corridors that'll lead you to the green line from here. It's close enough. The green line and the blue line are very close to each other, as you can probably see at this point.
I actually don't know where I'm going,
Okay.
but I'm thinking green
That
line.
is yeah.
I will say that
Less
in
likely to
character,
change.
too. Like,
To which I think Dustin is just going to look and go, kind of like shrug his shoulders and be like, "This wasn't here the last time I was, so sure, lead on, McDuff."
not a theater person, so that I don't understand that reference at all. I will
Okay.
yeah, head down the tunnels to the green line.
As you're heading down, you see that things change a bit. Things are warping a little bit. The tunnels themselves are warping. Yeah.
trying to stay in like the direct center of the
trick
tunnel
here
to keep
is
away
trying
from
to,
the, like,
whilst
walls.
the tunnels are moving, to try to outrun the orbs, because you're about to leave the grid. The trick is leaving the grid before the orbs get to you. So, there's another roll incoming. There are, I want to say, these grid constructs are pursuing you. I'm going to count them as a single construct, but then you have weird tunnels happening, so I'm going to make this a pain of 6 for the two of you to escape. To make it off of the grid before they get to you. And so, is Dawson leading again?
I don't know. Dustin, are you particularly adept at physical activity? Because Dawson isn't. So if that's the case, he would probably be leading, but otherwise I can. It doesn't.
I mean, not particularly adept. Like, I wouldn't call Dustin athletic by any means. So I can lead, though. You know.
If you don't want to, then I can, because I can use this is something I can use my madness talent for in a fairly big way, so I'll lead. Let's all just make that.
So what do you want? So you're going to use your madness talent? Is that what you're using? Oh boy!
I'm gonna use my madness talent.
So, what do you want to make it do?
So in like lower kind of levels I've described that like the perception of time can change, but I think at higher levels I have more control over like what aspects of space are affected by that time skew. And so I'm going to try to make I think I'm going to try to make us speed up within space.
Okay.
Rather than
so
slow
this is going to be, I think,
down.
a minimum of 4 madness you're probably going to want to roll on this. Of course, you may go up to 6 if you so desire.
Okay. I am... let's see. I am gonna throw in a little extra one on there.
All right.
I'll do 5.
I shall roll my 6 pain. I guess Dustin can help on this possibly, as you know, with the running part. If you would like to also roll. All right.
Yeah, sure. Why not? Let's make sure.
Again, we're just going to count your discipline. Oh, that's very good. I have 3 successes. My God. Not much pain dominating right now. Let's see what is dominating. It appears madness is dominating, almost. Yeah, no, it's not. It's not. It's discipline dominating. Or it would have been if I hadn't added another 6 to madness.
Yeah. Yeah, this is a good... I feel like this is a good one to add.
Please check off a response. Both Dawson and Dustin will please check off a response. What do you want to check off?
All right. So my only option...
Oh dear.
...is fight. So... I think what that means is that in the midst of running, I think I'm still going really fast, but I'm gonna just like turn around and I'm gonna hold my ground for these sphere things. How big are they? Are they big, like person-sized? Oh, they're they're small. Oh,
that's delightful. What is Dustin checking off?
Yeah.
Okay.
Dustin was checking off.
You want to do? Is that what you want to check off? No, this will be great.
Go for it, man. That's the one that makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, me personally, I hate leaving somebody behind, but I think in this instance, Dustin is, just going to be kind of like focused on trying to get away.
Going to happen.
So yeah.
Dustin, you will launch down the corridor at blinding speed. Suddenly, is there anything to indicate Dawson is doing this? Okay.
Externally, I don't think so. I think she just like the time like speeding up just like pulses the adrenaline, and it just like
all right.
She just like whips around.
It's all going to be happening pretty quickly, but
frenzy,
so
I think.
Dustin will be able to escape from these things. Dawson will essentially be turning around. And what do you want to do to these things as they're approaching you?
I want to try to grab one and like literally just try to whip it back around at its little compatriots.
They are small.
They're small.
They're like, I think I said like 5 of them. But you are like sort of turning and very rapidly, moving very fast. You're going to try to pluck this out of the air and throw it at its compatriots. And I am gonna, because you are moving so fast at this point, I'm going to downgrade the pain to 4 for this. And this doesn't have to be a direct use of your madness talent, but it can be if you wish. So you can use madness dice on it if you want.
Okay. Give me one moment because
Oh no.
my roll 20 just decided it was. It's very convenient timing for that. Okay. Let's see. Right. I think I'm gonna throw a little extra madness on there just because I think this is still relevant. But
Okay, 2, 3, 4. You have 4 successes. I have 3 successes. And this time pain is dominating. So.
Yep.
You launch at hyper speed. This orb, you pluck it out of the air. You launch this thing at the others. They do not know what hit them. This one hits 2 of the others and explodes. One of the ones on the end hits the wall and hits the floor. And the other one panics and turns around. Shoots off. And yeah. Oh no, and they are no longer pursuing you.
No.
Dustin, you race ahead. You come to a point where it's going to go down the stairs. And I think you will note for a second that Dawson isn't with you. And you'll probably be able to, if you wish, glance behind you and see Dawson do that. You want to be able to see that?
Yeah. I think that makes sense.
Yeah, so you flip around, you see it, and you see her do that, you pull it out of the air, you launch, and you see her launch that sphere at the others, destroying them. Most of them. And she is consumed by rage for a moment, or, well, just a fight response. And your adrenaline pumping, you look at it, and you realize that you have seen that kind of thing before. A madness power very much like this.
The time acceleration part?
This is
okay.
Very much like what you saw Nancy do when you were here before.
Yeah.
And the two of you proceed down. If you wish, you may now proceed down to the green line. Find your way to somewhere. And I believe that is where we're going to leave off for the evening. Thank you all very much for hanging out this evening. Thank you all very much for being here a bit later. I do appreciate it. We are going to go around and do our outros. As we are slowly moving things in one direction or another. Both parties are below ground. It hasn't quite gone 1 o'clock yet, but it probably will very soon. There's a chance next session might be where we're hitting the finale on this arc. I feel like we're possibly coming close to that, but I have to see kind of where things land to see if that works. If we still wish to pursue this organically. Otherwise, of course, we can always say, "Oh well, this will be it," and I can make things happen. But it's up to you. We're gonna go around and do our outros. Feel free to tell folks where they can find you. And any final thoughts you have about this session, favorite moments or anything like that. And we're going to be going in reverse order from how we started. So we will be starting with Rrok.
Hey, as I said at the beginning of this session, Rock and Roll, it's pretty much where you can find me anywhere, as far as Facebook, Twitter, any of the platforms or anything like that go. So currently I don't really have anything going on other than this. So, man, tonight was cool. It was a blast, man. It's been a while since I've had an opportunity to play with some folks, and so really enjoying it. And Don't Rest Your Head is an awesome game. I remember the first time around, and it was pretty cool that time. It's pretty cool so far now. So as far as like favorite part of the session goes, it's a toss-up between Luca and Lana trying to like figure things out, while Lila just kind of like standing in the background, just letting them two go. Between that and Dawson's little trick there at the end, that was pretty spectacular.
Excellent. Awesome to have you back on this. I'm very much looking forward to seeing how this goes. And now we will head over to Hannah.
I'm Hannah. You can find me on Twitter at HanimationArt and everywhere else at Hanimation Studios. And you can find me next 1 p.m. Eastern. I don't know if this Saturday we're playing, but most Saturdays, 1 p.m. Eastern over on the Wandering DM channel, playing some Scion, Birth of the New Gods. Very exciting. So tonight, I have to say my favorite part was probably the wax shackle. That was super creepy. Loved that detail.
Binding contract. Ask and you shall receive. Excellent. Awesome. And now we will head over to Nash.
Hi. I'm Nash. Lana currently doesn't regret her decision. This can't at all backfire. I'm sorry, she can't stop thinking like a lawyer. It's gonna bite her in the butt. My head went, oh, he's promising these things, but we don't have a written contract. He could just go back and get all of what he wants, and we get stuck anyway. But anyway, you can find me at Theater Nerd 221 on all the places. I don't have anything else going on because my life is too chaotic.
Chaos, it happens. Yeah.
Happens.
Excellent. And now we will head over to Olivia.
Hey everybody, I have been Olivia. You can find me on Twitter and most places at CryOutOlivia. You can also find me on the podcast Material Components, wherever podcasts can be found. I also, not to copy you, Hannah, but I also, honestly, all the Wax King stuff, we've been, encroaching on his territory since episode 1, and even before that, it seems, in the form of Lila, and so finally meeting him in the waxy flesh was very cool.
Excellent. And finally, over to Alyssa.
Everybody, thank you for watching. Thank you all for playing, and thanks as always to Jim for pulling this all together. I have been your friendly virtual spinner of yarns and teller of tall tales. You can find me on the internet at Shawl Tales, Twitch, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube, where you can find the song that I wrote in character for Lila about the Star Maker.
Yeah.
And I will throw in a link to that as well. This is the only streamed game I have going on right now, but I'm very excited to see how this next fetch quest will play out and see how Lila fares with Max.
It can only end well.
And
yeah, I'm surprised you haven't dropped dead.
Most of the party. and also, if eventually she runs into Dustin, how she's going to handle the emotional strain of everything. She might be due for a meltdown as well.
I was gonna say, with 6 exhaustion,
yeah,
meltdown seems like the only answer.
I'm sure everything will be fine. It'll be fine. We're all good. Yeah, it will be something. Absolutely.
It'll be something.
All right, folks, who am I? I'm Jim. Thank you for watching. You can find me at OtherDoc on both Twitch and Twitter, and various other social media platforms. Where I'm not OtherDoc, I'm Jim Yes That Jim. My website is jimyesthatjim.com, where you can find my Geek Observation podcast and links to my various other podcasts, audio dramas, writings, and such. Down below, you can access my website, social media links, YouTube channel, and various other things. This Wednesday, we actually are not having Dune. We were going to have Dune, but we can't have Dune because of scheduling stuff. Real life. Damn it, real life. So we will hopefully return to that next week. But on Friday, we have the Outer Veil group that we shall be coming back to. And I can't wait to find out what's been happening in the Market District. I am so excited to find that out.
We know
Yes.
that it's not spaghettification.
That much we know. We've eliminated spaghettification as the thing that's happening in the Market District. No, alas.
Oh, no spaghetti.
No delightful singularity-based spaghetti. But we shall see. We shall see what happens there. As we deal with the fallout of Tyler knocking a black hole in a pawn shop before he vanishes from the Mad City on the cusp of 13. I'm sure everything will be fine. Everything will be fine. But that's all we have going on currently, and of course Monday we have this, and I really want to see where everyone goes and what they decide to do, because this we're reaching a point. So and it's almost 1 o'clock. It'll be 1 o'clock soon, and then the doors will reopen, and who knows what'll happen. But we'll see. We'll see how this goes. In the meantime, folks, I'm gonna go ahead. We're gonna probably go say hi to somebody. And a few people are streaming right now. So we'll probably go say hi to one of them. Feel free to hang on if you're so inclined to say hi to them with us. That again will be when we hit the end card. In the meantime, folks, thank you all very much for watching. Take care, and we will catch you next time. Farewell.